I'm just going to let this build up. Hmm. Okay. All right. So, 2019, Mind Over Matter. So I'm here for an interview right now. So I am taking that interview, and take it away. Let me just turn that down.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Reflecting
We barely hear you, mate.
on the year.
Reflecting on the year. That's what I'm doing, isn't it? So,
All right. Well, let's run through
I
your
hope.
accomplishments, what you've achieved so far, and
Why is it important for the viewers to listen right now? Because we do have a lot of announcements and a lot of things to give out, and a lot of thank yous. So, and some good advice.
so it's like a recap, isn't it, on what you've done, what you've achieved. Also, a chance for you to revisit some of these points, and just you may have a different outlook now on the topic than you did a few weeks ago, a few months ago, however they fall in line. But you'll explain as we
Okay,
go
let's
further
go
along.
down then, shall we? Okay.
Okay, well, first and foremost,
Please do invite.
let's start with your launch, um, July 2019.
My launch. So the launch was quite successful, and the reason why we're doing Mind Over Matter is also known as the Mom Project, is because it's really important to myself to make sure that somebody out there is listening. It's very important that somebody out there is probably more educated and filled with more knowledge as to eliminate more to eliminate some suffering, and to alleviate isolation and maybe what they were experiencing. So it's really important what I do to make the difference um, out in the community. So the reason, as you most people know, that I put myself on various courses to make sure that I could do this platform. And I said in 2016, I will have a charity. That's what I did say that I would do. So I've launched a non-for-profit, not-for-profit company out July the 19th to the Ipswich community at first, but it wasn't designated for Ipswich community because we don't know where people are feeling depressed. So far, that could be anywhere. So we launched out in the community July the 19th, 2019, and we had about 150 attendees, including the MP and the mayor, and it was brilliant. And we had, I can't remember, 7 guest speakers,
Yes.
myself. In total, there was 9 guest speakers, giving back, raising awareness, and showing how different reasons for why people would feel mentally drained, unwell, isolated, and everything else. So here we are. We launched, and it was really successful.
And those 7 people, they're members
Absolutely, they were
of
members
the Mom Project.
of the Mom Project, and they decided to help with a pilot project to demonstrate to make sure that it worked. So they volunteered their research, their time, their energy into giving back so we could help the community with different factors and learning about different disorders and disabilities and different illnesses. And I've had to learn a lot. We all have, because that's one of the things that we do when we are on this program, is to learn about each other's diagnoses so we're able to help each other and recognize their triggers and their ups and downs. But there's more ups than there are downs now since coming on a recovery program.
Right. Okay. The launch itself was video, wasn't it, and made into a DVD, like a whole documentary type thing, wasn't it?
The launch, and I wish I had a copy here right now. The launch itself was made into a hour-and-a-half copy of a DVD, so it will make you think there is a copy of a DVD. Yeah. And that is available actually.
Yes.
So and you can also, if you want your own copy, you can have that. I guess you can have it signed if you like, or you can actually go to YouTube and you get it from there as well. That boiler's doing my head in. Go ahead.
All right, so that's the launch. So in layman's terms, you've launched, you're up and running, you have members, you have DVD, you're interacting with people, and then you take the next step and you go into collaboration with someone, and that was Lush on the high street of Ipswich. What was that?
Lush.
about?
So I went in with Miss Terry and I sat myself and I'll say I went in with all three directors actually. We all went in and done a collaboration in Lush because it was very important to us to get the word out that we have arrived. There is a new outreach. You don't have to wait for the NHS waiting list. You can use a private service. And that's what we are. So, you know, it's...
That was, I'd like to point out, that was twofold with Lush, wasn't it? Because on one side, you're raising awareness.
with the local businesses.
And on the other side, there was some financial reward.
So with
as well.
Lush, that we did the collaboration in Ipswich. It was Ipswich Town on the high street. We're very transparent with what we do because I don't need to say why and because we are transparent. It's about honesty here. So we did Lush, which is bath salts and smelly things and stuff. So we went in there for the day. We took a little bit of research with us. We asked questions. People wasn't aware there was a new outreach, and it was good to know. So we were interacting with customers. They were talking about their health, and they were also talking about their, a lot of people were saying they could relate to the word suicide. They've been there, then they wanted these workshops. So doing that collab with Lush, very grateful, very honoured to be able to do that. Very grateful to my directors for being there, and yeah, for the first time in telling the town that, hey, we're here, we were there. So we were visible. We were visible on a few events actually. So throughout Ipswich for that summer. So yeah.
All right. Okay. So that was Lush. Then you did a similar thing out in Woodbridge with Costa Coffee.
Yes, so
What
it was Suicide International Day, and that was Woodbridge Town on the thoroughfare, outside Costa Coffee. We had gone into agreement with Costa Coffee to do a bit of a collaboration to promote local businesses, but also because we know that being a business owner, that we have to make sure that we're keeping our customers happy and we're providing what we can. So being visible in towns and letting them know that we're here to help, We put up signs. We were there outside Costa. We had conversations. We were there to make a difference. I say we, whether it's a few people or not. Like I said, we were just beginning. We need volunteers. We were out there and we were raising awareness. And it was interesting to have conversations with people. And some of those people have actually been members on here now because they've joined that platform because they knew how important it was to raise awareness. Okay?
All right. Okay.
Right. That's Lush.
Okay. This is kind of a bit backwards just in the way that we formulated
Okay.
the questions and stuff. But I must ask you about the allotment community garden because I know that was up and running before the launch.
Well,
but it kind of got put on the back burner because of the launch and then picked up.
that's
steam
because we were organising the launch, which would have been in July, but we actually registered in March. And so therefore, January, February, March. So therefore, we started the allotment, which is on, well, we're not sure what day we actually want to do it this year because it depends on who's more available. And there's a reason for this at the moment. So, but we have that on a Monday. We were having the allotment, and that's run by we want to say the rehabilitation. We're rehabilitating our lives. So, and members come here, to talk. And that was just the beginning. When we got there, it was a pile of dirt. And we're transforming that, and we're putting our own touches on it. And it's really good to be outdoors, come rain or shine. You can have tea, coffee, pack lunch. We've had a few laughs down there, and we like to take interviews down there too. So, and you can bring the children. You don't have to resort to just on your own. If you want to bring someone with you for the day, you can. So you can get your fingers green. You can just sit there and have a cup of tea and embrace the nature. You can do that. And we did that, raise the allotment because it was very important for the mind. And it started with Anthony, grew then with Dan, it then grew there with I remember Hannah, and then it then grew with Terry, then it grew with myself, then it grew with somebody else, and then somebody else, and it's just growing and growing. And then this year it's going to be a little bit more where we can just embrace the outdoors now because the hard work's done.
It's
some of it.
Infrastructure that needed to be put in place.
Yeah.
Sheds and beds and getting equipment in and bits and bobs.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Got some
Also,
donations as well from
also
the community, which was
you
the shed.
Kind of started on the back foot with that one because you didn't start until April. So
No,
you
we
lost,
didn't start
a couple
ploughing.
you lost
planting.
the ploughing months. But you still got strawberries and
We ended up getting strawberries. We ended up getting rhubarb. There was some
beetroot. You got beetroot.
beetroot.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
funny
got,
thing about the beetroot.
You got sweet corn.
Tomatoes and sweet corn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some
so-
flowers,
and some flowers.
carnations.
So
we bunched those carnations up and gave them as a gift to somebody to put a smile on their face.
So, given it was hard, tedious work in the beginning, not a bad yield, if I can use that word, for the first attempt, and then
For our first attempt, of
Going
managing
into it.
that every single Monday.
from next year should be from January. That gives you that 4 months, to get it, because obviously I take it it's going to be all overgrown. In essence, you've got to start again, but
Well, it's not so much. It's not so much. It's not so much work.
There. Yeah, it's not going to be so much work.
No, because
a couple of days weeding and you're ready.
myself and Dan and other participants, they're putting that grouch down, which is a new word that I learned. So I'm learning. I learned myself about horticulture or gardening. So horticulture. Sorry, I learned myself. And it's not easy sometimes when you've been so used to staying in. So pushing yourself to at least get out to the great outdoors on a project where you can just be yourself was of benefit to myself. Even if I couldn't get out for that day, then I just wouldn't go either. So that's somebody else doing that putting smiles on people's faces by embracing the great outdoors. But we also did a function, the community gardens, um, the community gardens in Ipswich. I don't want to really promote it, whatever too much. Sometimes we have a key, but still, So they put on what do they do?
It was a brunch, wasn't it?
They put on a brunch tea party kind of thing for us, and we did raffles, and it was nice. Everybody got through. We had quiz questions, barbecue. I say barbecue. There was bacon sandwiches, etc. It was a great day, and they'd raised funds for us as well. That was £200, so that funding would go into the next project. So go ahead.
Okay, on the issue of raising funds, you also had one of your members organise something at his school where he works as a chef.
The baby of the bunch.
And how did that go?
So the baby of the bunch, he has done so much hard work, determination, full force into the allotment and full force into raising awareness because it's so close to his heart. And the feedback is that it's and you should read those out later as well. It means so much to be a part of something. So he went and done a fundraiser at school, a non-uniform day, and done some cake stalls and etc. And he raised £800 for the Mom Project, suicide prevention, to go towards other bigger things and workshops and educational workshops and to benefit the community. So I'm extremely proud of that. Like I said, we're very transparent with what we do. Everything you can find all that information, and you are welcome to an annual report. You're welcome to come. That will be public. There you go. All right.
Okay, so that was a fundraising event.
Yes, thank you.
At the school.
Yes.
And then
do we mention the school?
No, I wouldn't mention it.
Go ahead.
I was going to say on that note, on the fundraising issue, we didn't note down the comedy night.
We didn't. We had a comedy night. Glass-eyed comedy event. We held that. I've lost my days now. I believe that was
November 16th.
November. So glass-eyed comedy. We're very thankful. You might want to help me with the names. And
Louis
Green. So again, another collaboration, putting on this fantastic night. We set the venue. We have to say, love all occasions. Helped us set the venue out again. It's so beautiful, red and white. That's our colours. That's our colour theme. And the comedy night was again great. Again, our members are giving back. Our members are raising awareness. Our members are getting involved in making that difference to try and save life. So Glass-eyed Comedy were doing that also. They were collaborating with us to make that difference, to help us, because they know that there isn't anything else out there like this in our town at the time. So we're doing something different. That there are organisations out there doing a great job also, but I want to do this differently.
All right. So that was the comedy.
That was the comedy, Glass-eyed.
Tell us about Tip Top Candles and how
Tip Top Candles. Well, Tip Top Candles made our very first own candles, and they put our logo on the candles, and you will find pictures on them. You can get them on the group as well. They had made our own candles with some words on that we'd asked them to do. And we've gone in collaboration with them because it is important to help local businesses out, and having that helps us, and it's getting the message out there again. It's raising awareness. Candles are very useful. I spend £20 on a candle and I can't help it. it's just something I feel that I need to have for myself. And so it's important to have your own candle. We do have these occasional candles, and we will raffle them off. So look out for those.
All right. So that's the candles
Ooh,
covered.
what about these? What about these? Look at these. Look at this.
And you got the t-shirts as well.
So we came out with our own brand of t-shirts as well. So these are suicide prevention, I'm going the wrong way, suicide prevention and mental health support. That's because that is what we do. Away from offline, by the way. And then we have these ones here that don't have the suicide prevention on it, but they still represent what we're trying to say. So the wings on here is to say that when we bring people in, they're broken, but when we go off, we'd like to say that the mended that can go off and go and help somebody else. And that's what we're doing. We take you under our wing, and we try to help you rebuild and give you something that was missing. And it is commitment, it is support, becomes like a little family. So where to go when you need that support.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, these t-shirts, by the way, they are available to purchase. Every t-shirt that sold will go towards the project to make sure that it is going to fund these workshops, etc. So that's what we're going to do. So please be aware of those. Okay, go ahead.
All right. And as well as that, with the logo, you also now have a company vehicle with the logo on there also.
We were also,
so
we also have a company vehicle, which is, again, people are giving back because they've been there. They're trying to rebuild their life, and they've had that conversation with us, and they're trying to make a difference to the community, even by offering that donation to help us, even with the labels, etc., the stickers and stuff, etc., that goes on the cards side of the car. To have this on the back of the car is to spread our awareness and to let us know that we're here. But it also helps us get pick up people that are disabled that we had to take them to the necessary location that we have to when we're raising awareness, or to get them to the event. That's what I'm saying, to get them to the event. So we're able to structure around that. There is 7 seats, so sometimes we'll be able to plan with to go out somewhere along the line. So, you know, having that vehicle was a big difference, and we decided that we could use that to benefit our members. So that's what we're doing. That's what we've done. We're giving us to the community and trying to make that difference. And we don't have to do any of it, but we're doing it because I guess I'm tasked for it, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, okay.
It's making me feel good. It's making me feel better anyway, mentally.
All right. I know you've got something in your hand that you want to mention, but I just want to get one last topic in this segment. Cliff Lane School. You did an afternoon or a whole day craft fair there.
Yeah, we did an afternoon event, and again, CC, because people haven't heard of us, we have to put ourselves out there and project what we're doing, so we are able to help. Lucky for us, this just so happens to be that there was a member that actually was at that event. A member from Facebook was actually at that event, and they actually did the raffle. And to be honest, it wasn't the setup, but actually they won. And I was so honoured that they won, because I was expecting a newborn baby. So in 2020, so that again is it was just almost like I don't win nothing, and they won, and it was fair because we did not draw that out. We got the people that were in the same room as us to draw that out.
Right.
So they won the tiny tip-top candle, and they won a t-shirt as well. So these candles are homemade. They are made by survivors, and therefore, you know, we're supporting local businesses. That's all we're doing.
Good. Now, the CD you're holding.
The CD.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so here we have, it's called From Me to You, and it is Mandy Fisher. So Mandy Fisher, she's been on a lot of Stars on Your Rise, Stars on Your Rise, yes, Stars on Your Rise, and BBC. Oh gosh,
There's another show that she's been on.
that's not very good, is it? One something one.
Oh, now you're asking.
I'm so
It will
sorry.
come to me
It was, hang on.
in a minute.
Yeah, it is. So the CD that was done, she got Stand By Me, Jealous of the Angels, Forgot You, Never Enough, Bring It Home, I'd Rather Go Blind, and I Will Carry You. 10% of the sales went towards the One Project, and Grace Hope for suicide prevention, mental health support. That's Mandy Fisher, and that was brilliant getting that with our logo on her album. So what can we say about this album? Because it came with a lovely note: make your life a masterpiece, imagine no limitations on what you can be or have or do, you're amazing. So to receive that and to follow her music was quite nice. So would you like to elaborate on talk about that?
Yeah, no, that's spot on, really.
I support Mandy no matter what, because it was an honour and a pleasure to speak to Mandy Fisher. It's an honour to actually even indulge in listening to her music because it's so heartfelt. So I don't follow anybody's advice, or I say follow anyone's advice. I don't listen to anything. I just stay positive, support those that support me. So for me, this having been a part of Mandy's CD, not singing, obviously not, but being a part on the CD and that being distributed out to many, that means a lot, because I've sent her information, I sent off information, I've had brief conversations, etc. But she gave me time. That's all what mattered. She gave me time to make her own mind up, time to whatever, to believe in me or not believe in me. And for me, she gave me time. That was what was important for me. Yeah, and I'm really proud. We will play this at the end of this, so you can get an idea of what it is, and you can find her music.
Something else that popped into my mind. You went down to Bentwaters, beg your pardon, and you did a podcast also, didn't you?
I did a podcast with Ian Bentley, and he does yoga as well, but he does a lot of podcasts. So I did about a 2.5 hour podcast, and at the time of my podcast, I was a little bit emotional, just slightly, because we were talking and going backwards in life, to how we got forward in life. So that was great interview, and really nice man. Check out his stuff. So yes, Ian Bentley, and he does yoga, and you can hire,
Right.
So
okay.
Yeah.
So as well as the podcast, you've also done a number of stints on ICR FM, which is Ipswich Community Radio.
Ipswich Community Radio. I love going on Ipswich Community Radio. I think the only one who hasn't had me in there on at the moment is Skipper, and perhaps I don't know if Bobby has his own show, but I haven't been on Skipper's show yet. But I have been on Crime Prevention and Crime Lab, sorry, and I have been on Clearwater. So having those.
Also been on Open Voice.
Oh, sorry, I've also been on Open Voice. So that's Clearwater, Open Voice, and Crime Lab. So they're different days, and they are very informative. And again, they're there to raise awareness and to promote a message for the community. Those radio stations are not there just to play music. They're to deliver something that's of benefit to your mind, your body and your spirit, actually. So at the end of the day, and it's very informative. You get a lot of information from ICRFM, and you watch out for next year, because you will find that you're going to hear a lot more of things that need to be provided within the community, and definitely conversation and a lot of interviews with other local businesses. Okay.
All right. So that pretty much wraps up.
Oh.
Oh, not done yet. that wraps up segment 1
Okay.
with, how can I explain it? You working the floor, as it were, with where you've been and what you've done, and still another thing pops to mind: Ipswich Boxing Academy.
Ipswich Boxing
Can't forget them.
Academy. I would never think I'll ever forget the time that, again, come in and be announced under the Mom Project Suicide Prevention and what we're doing, and that was announced in front of so many people on, don't forget the boxing match there, but that was announced with so many people, and it was important to know that they knew we're not going to shut up about the prevention of suicide. We need to talk. And that was announced, and it was really a nice time. So I look forward to doing more collaborations, etc., and getting the word out and working with the younger generation to make sure that they are provided mentally.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap up that segment, and then I'm going to move on to the part you've all been waiting for, which is the actual work that you have been doing and are doing.
Volunteering.
So if I break it down insofar as a caseload, so you've been advising on cases, right?
Yeah, let's break down the importance of what the Mind Over Matter project can do for you. We have people available
housing
to help. So yeah, the Mind Over Matter project can help you. Housing, we can help you with housing. Not housing you, we can help you, put you in the right place to make sure that everything is in order, to make sure that we can help you when you're in a time when you're weak and you can't communicate. That's kind of hard when you're very stressed out sometimes, to be dealing with a lot of heavy issues. So whatever the issue is, we try to help. So housing is one. Go ahead.
Domestic abuse,
domestic violence and domestic abuse. We work with agencies and the police if we have to work. Obviously, we have to. As many times as we may not, and I have to be honest, as many times as we may not like to work with the police, and I, for one, have that barrier up. We have to. Because if there is a crime, we have to call them. If you need your insurance, you have to call them. So in the case of this, when there's domestic violence going on, we have a statutory duty of, I can't even say the word, we have a duty of care. We have a safeguarding. Safeguarding is very important to make sure that people are safe. They know their rights. They know they have someone by their side while they tell their journey. And it's important, very important. So yeah, domestic violence, that's another.
Employment and CV writing.
Employment and CV writing. Well, employment, not how we do the employment, is we listen to what it is that you want to do, and we'll help you get to where you need to get to.
All right. You've already touched upon the police involvement, but that brings me back round to a topic that you have been dealing with for the last 6 or 8 weeks, which is cyber bullying.
Yeah. cyberbullying. Right. So we are Mind Over Matter Project. Well, I'm always going to be Mind Over Matter Project. As the founder of it, I'm always going to think what I would do for my clients. I would always have to think what I would advise you guys to do in these circumstances. So cyberbullying wasn't very nice. I wouldn't, when people say please act professionally, I believe that as a human being, when you're affected by cyberbullying and cyber crime, cyber hate crime, it is a very detrimental thing online. And I believe that especially people were dying because of cyberbullying online. People are self-harming because they are being cyberbullied online. People's reputation is being destroyed. It's shame element of it when people put your stuff all over the Facebook. But the only person that should be ashamed is the person that are doing it, because it makes them stand out a mile when they continue bullying. And we will always do what we advise our customers to do, and that is to file it, report it, don't play. Because anyone that sits there and say, why are you calling the police on me? What do you expect? How are we supposed to protect ourselves? We're not allowed to seek revenge. And that's one of the things that our project won't do. We don't seek revenge. What we do is justice, not for me to give justice, but it's me to hand over the stuff that if somebody is doing wrong. So we are zero tolerance to abuse. I am, because I have had it my entire life. So have many of the clients. So many of the people that are on here, that are out in the community, have been abused far too long. And whether it's verbal, mental, physical, the abuse is not warranted and unwanted, and nobody should suffer abuse. So we do say and do what it says under the tin. We are crime prevention and rehabilitation, and we will help you to reform yourself and your actions if they are deemed of a hurtful nature and causes harm, detriment, distress to anybody. We won't have it.
All right. So that about kind of summarizes all of the areas and topics that you've been dealing with in particular this year. But you've also worked with a lot of people. Anyone in particular you want to
I have
name?
Naming them out, it's kind of difficult to name them out, but I'm always going to give a shout out to those, because those that actually do come through, they allow us to use the material as research to project out to somebody else, so we can help somebody else. So naming, oh God, where do you start? Well, I'll always start with Steffi. I'll always go with Chad. I'll always go with Anthony. Where do we go from there? Layla, Nina. These are my shout outs. Dan, Sally, Sadia, Nikki, Leisha. Oh my God, there are so many that I can't even. I know I've got up to like 30 something.
Yeah.
And I can't even. Go ahead.
I've got O'Real here.
O'Real. Yeah.
UMCS, video production company.
Yeah, Isaac Tarai, yeah. Kieran Herrington.
Yeah, Supermark,
yeah, Supermarky.
Afrique UK.
Africa UK. We'll be doing some work with them next year too.
And,
yes.
Collab
Creative Web Designer. Yes, we'll be doing. Yeah, absolutely fantastic people.
There's lots of people.
Yeah.
Don't forget Furman's Garage as well.
Furman's Garage.
Yeah, got the car up and running.
Yeah.
Big shout goes out to Paul also, who done the logos, replicated.
on the car
and put the
and
logos
put
on
them
the
on
car.
the car. Yeah.
So we've got to get a shout out to. And also, on a personal note, a shout out to ICR as well for being really accommodating and allowing us to go on there.
Nick
And
has been accommodating. Mr. Ashby's been accommodating.
he's
They've
done all the ads for us and
yeah.
stuff like that. And
When we had our own ad, right, it was amazing because when they put that ad out for launch, it was I could hear it and I could hear it, and it was like, "Is that us?" And it was amazing. And it was amazing to hear the ad, your own jingle. They call it a jingle, so to have that jingle, and it sounded good too. It was some good music. Yeah,
brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Brilliant mix done by Nick KB himself. So yeah, big shout out to Nick and the.
Oh, and Bevy Barnett always in the USA. See, that's as far as we go. USA, you know, we've been told we help there. We've been told we've helped in Scotland. We've been told we've. You know, when I look back on all the people that is reaching, even down to Nigeria, you know, and Australia, all the people that this project, just by simple, and it's not scattying all over the place. It's not a mess. It's nice, calm. People, I think, are still a little afraid to come forward and do their little lives and project a little message. They can do that, and that is very helpful. So yeah, go ahead.
So those are the shouts. That's some of the work. Those are the appointments that you've kept. Moving forward into 2020, nearly said 2019 now, I'll be the first person to make that mistake. Moving forward into 2020.
Into 2020.
What will you be doing? Where will you be going?
Right. So confirmation today. This is where we are going. So without putting too much, because I like to have the material in my hand and a piece of paper in my hand first before I do anything. But one of these confirmation today that we will be bringing workshops in Woodbridge area and in Ipswich area, and we will be going and we're working on Hertfordshire, and we are going to be bringing it to the London area. I will say that as soon as we have our volunteers, it will be every area by the time I finished, as much as I can. So what was your question again?
Where will you be going and what will you be doing in 2020?
Right, so the workshops are really important. I am going to have a menopause workshop. That's going to be 40 plus, or if you had that a little bit earlier. That doesn't mean menopause. It literally means men. Oh, pause. You know, because surrounding our bodies, etc., we have an issue. And I don't want to put too much out here, but dating. Have any of you heard the live a couple of weeks ago between Polly, and it was a sexual talk, and this person was 60 something. Honestly, that's the workshop we're going to be putting on, but there's many more workshops. That's another workshop around mental health, how to date your boyfriends, how to tell someone you've got mental health, how to stop the self-harming. There is an endless list of information that we're going to be giving you, and it's not just where you can sit there and dribble, get a pen and crayon, and because that's what they used to do to me when I was on the mental health. They give you a crayon and a piece of paper and they'll tell you to draw. Yeah, okay, creative arts can be good, but we do need to talk. So we wasn't allowed to. So hence when I do these workshops, they're a little bit based on reality for me.
All right. So the aim of the game is you're going to be expanding and growing the business model, as they say,
right.
Bigger and
yes, an enterprise, isn't
better, it? Yeah. So what about manpower, or should I say woman power also, in the shape of helpers?
If anyone wants to call me, I'm going to answer. answer. If anybody wants to telephone in, 077 060 1567. I'll take a few calls, a few questions. I don't mind that. Manpower. We are going to ask for volunteers. It doesn't matter the area that you are in. It matters that we team build, get to know and work together. And also, we're under a structure here. It's a program. There's nothing against it. It's a program. That program is a template, and that program is run by real people that have survived. Should say they had 9 lives, really. What I say, they're still here and alive today, but some people shouldn't have been here. Some people say they shouldn't have been here. Some people are here though. So we are here to make sure that we're about a prevention, and every little helps. That's all we can do. We're about prevention. So it's not about, okay, we're going to stop the suicide. The only person that can stop that is the person that is willing to hold their hand out and take the help that is offered, not chuck it up in somebody's face, not be difficult about it. If you're exhausted all avenues and you've exhausted everything that that you're repeating history and it's gone on for so long, take it for someone who knows, will teach you how to unlearn those bad, unhealthy coping strategies that you had, and will replace them with team building and providing a support network. That's what we do.
All right. Okay. Well, on that note, I can see you touching a bit of paper, so I'll just say.
Well, it's coming up to New Year's in a bit. What's been a highlight that you've looked back and reflected back onto?
The launch, because okay, you say you're going to launch, brackets, close brackets, and you put it out there, you do the jingle, you do the flyers, you tell everybody, you sell tickets, and a week before the venue you haven't got all of your tickets sold, so you're a bit apprehensive about, will the hall be filled, and just general jitters and stuff. And then on the day, it's a fear. On the day, you could argue probably the most important person who should have attended sort of calls and says, sorry, I can't make it for whatever reason, throwing a big spanner into a very complicated set of work.
Nothing's complicated. Always have a backup plan.
And I think we pulled that off. But to be more specific with your question, which is why I picked on the launch straight away, as we did get up in the morning, go and dress the hall and get everything ready and make sure the music was, and all the other things that you, just like at any venue that you're holding an event at or whatever. When we finally came back to actually begin and saw the hall heaving, and then we had to go and find more chairs from upstairs.
Yeah, that was nice.
Out the back, to accommodate the guests, as it were. That was a good feeling, and from that point onwards, the whole thing just went seamlessly. All the speeches, obviously led by yourself, were spot on. A real nailed it as always. Then Super and Kieran done their thing. Or DJ Kieran.
It came together lovely with the MP there and the mayor.
And the mayor and the MP, and forgot to mention that the mayor actually gave a speech as well.
The
former mayor, Sarah Barber. Right.
She did give a speech. You can find that on YouTube and the DVD. We said that, didn't we?
And again, shout out to Isaac and UMCS capturing things you didn't even know were going on whilst you were there doing it, but that's the beauty of having a great
The
cameraman.
beauty of capturing that moment,
You know,
for me, would put anyone that turns around and says that we are not, I'm a fake, because I get that quite a few times, but I get that. That's people are not well sometimes.
You're always gonna get that, but you know the evidence is there with 150 plus witnesses. So,
and I was never. This is the thing about when you're honest, when you change your life and you can remove the fear and you're honest. What happens is, that's why we're so transparent, because when those haters, I will say, those haters that they want to see you fall, they don't want to encourage you, they're the ones that actually probably need the help more than anybody else. So sometimes I don't follow what someone does, I set the example. And I think that what we do, I don't have to speak. Our clients speak for itself. They speak. Our members, should I say, clients, our members, whoever, those that we have made a difference to, they speak their testimonials, not my word. Can you take my word for it? How can you? It has to come out of somebody that says that I made a difference to their life. So until we get that proof, then we are hearsay, she say stuff. But the fact of the matter is, we are getting testimonials back. We are getting feedback back. We are getting letters in the post. We have got, I can pull them out. We have got thank you cards. We have got, what can I say? We've had thank you cards, we've had messages. We have been told it makes a difference. And that's all I need to know. If somebody says that they've stopped self-harming, they're no longer on the need of medication the way they have had it, or they've come off of it, they've stopped drinking, and that's because they've come on this program and they've benefited and committed themselves on this program, I will say that that's because they chose to trust somebody that can master their emotions, because I'm a little bit more ahead of them now. I'm older, a lot more older, I guess, than some of these. And so therefore, when they tell me in writing, when they tell us verbally that their life has changed because somebody's there, their life has changed because somebody's listening, and somebody helps them to unfold what needs to be to iron out the ruffles, to keep them on a straight and narrow passage. So to replace the old, to try something new. And that's what people are afraid of, to try something new. So having this, it's funny, because there was a time where people say, I've got mental health, it's all over the place. People are crying out for help, but I don't understand why. And when they sit there and say they wait for the mental health services, that's just a conversation. But you ain't going to get a whole package under one roof. So what have we got? Other agencies don't have. And we have it all under one package. And we work with so many other organisations. We work with the police. We work with, the rape and domestic violence units. We have to, because this is now going to bring me into rounding this off so you guys can enjoy the rest of your new year and your New Year's to come. But this is going to bring us into New Year now, and I would like some of your feedback or expertise back within this, guys. So the tip, so I've had a fantastic year, 2019. Never thought I'd make it back then, until I tried one silly little video which made a huge difference to my life, and it made me focus and open that third eye. I would say the third eye, it made me focus. It really did make me focus. So moving into, why ain't I out clubbing it? because it doesn't interest me anymore, because there's going to be people out there that are drinking, and that's not something I really want to be around. So I don't mind in moderation to maybe have a sip if you can master where you're in control of your life. That's different. Those that are binge drinkers and drink for the, oh, I only have one every night. That's the every night you have to worry about, because I do see that as an issue. So drinking and on the pool. So my members, I spoke to a few of our members earlier, and have we still got to go on some more?
No, you're
yeah. So my members, we spoke to them earlier, and we were talking about tonight, New Year's. Some are going out and some are not. Drinking and on the pool. The consequences of drinking and on the pool. This is going to be funny, isn't it? They said a baby. That's very true. You're drinking and you may not wear protection, etc., and it may not even be consented with. So for me, to drink, you need to know what's going on around you and what is happening, just in case you end up somewhere else that nobody knows where you're at. So these are when you are drinking, and you're drinking heavily, and it doesn't stem from just New Year's Eve, my love, or New Year's Day, or Boxing Day, or Christmas. This is everyday challenge. The things that you need to think about when you go out, things that you need to think about on a regular day basis. The consequences of drinking alcohol, and not meaning to trigger anybody, but is when you are not in control, anything can happen, and you don't want these things to happen. If you're just for the hell of it drinking, like I said, drinking and is on the pool, okay, so you could have a baby there. You also could turn around and that person, the female or the male, whoever's drinking, could actually have you down for a rape if they don't remember it. So that's one of the things you need to think about. And it's a very serious allegation now, because people will turn around and say they disassociated, or they said no, or they said they can't remember, but they know. And
but alcohol
it's a dangerous game.
is always the redeeming factor.
Alcohol.
How much is too much to cloud one's judgment? Can you be certain you said no? If you can't remember how you got from point A to point B, how do you remember you said no? And
how do you remember anything? Full stop.
Full stop.
One of the things that happened to myself, out party, out. I was going back to my teenage years, my teenage years. So I'm out partying, having a great time. Somebody makes us a drink. I end up awake the next day in an attic. No bottoms on. Never knew what to report, but I do know that I was on my monthly, and I do know that I had used feminine products as in tampons, and that was so not there, but a used condom was next to me, and I remember none of it, absolutely none of it. But when I did confront the person, I wasn't the only victim. Did I ever report it to the police? How could I? I ended up in someone's house with a drink, casual drink, but it was spiked. And I wasn't on my own. I was with a friend who said she thought I was fine, and she left me drunk
again
in a house.
Circle of friends.
And again, never leave your friends alone, and especially when they're intoxicated. So, drinking, consequences of being heavily drunk is another thing, especially when you've got depression or you're on medication. When you're emotional, you tend to self-harm. You're already self-harming by drinking anyway, but you end up self-harming if you're breaking up with a boyfriend. Because, you know, this is New Year's coming up now, and there's going to be split ups, breakups, or, you know, a lot of people say, I've decided I don't want to be with you anymore. I decided that 2020, I want a divorce, and this is my year. These are the things that are going to happen over the new year. People want a divorce. People want a fresh start. People don't want past crap. They want to move forward. And they're going to make these New Year's resolutions. And that's going to be, what's your New Year's resolution? Why do we have to wait for a new year to make a change today? You know, so I don't understand that. You don't need to wait for a new year to put down the bloody bottle, to stop relying on chemicals to get well, and to start taking action with your health and well-being, you know, to change everything. I'm not being funny, but I listen, mate, I bought a guitar. That was one of the things I decided, let me try something, a new skill. So I tried that. So we've got to try and change and get out of our comfort zone. That's what we have to, get out of our comfort zone. So talking again to our members, they said, do not walk home alone. Be very, tell somebody where you're going. At least make sure that you don't lose your keys. Have a spare somewhere. Let someone know where you're at. Designated driver. Designated driver. To make sure that you could have a designated driver if you can. If you go somewhere, so not to drink. You've got to be safe, because it isn't about you having a drink. It's about who you may kill on the road. That one drink could cost that one life, or maybe a whole family. And as you know, that has happened to many people out there. And if that has happened to people that you know, very condolences to those people. If you haven't seen the adverts, if you can't take someone else's life seriously, then be it your conscience for when you mess up someone's life and destroy their life, be it your conscience because you've been told don't drink and drive, don't even drugs and drive. You know, you've got to take some responsibility that you don't know the capacity of your brain when you are driving and under the influence. So think about other people and their children. If I found out somebody was driving and they're on the road and they're drinking, I would be annoyed. I don't care who it is. I would be annoyed, because my automatic response is, that could be my kids on the street. That could be anyone on the street. So that's my advice. Don't drink and drive. In fact, better still, if you could try to nip the drinking in the bud, the better. So, right, message from Nikki. This is one of our members. She's recovered from alcohol. She hasn't drunk in, we're coming up to 2 years almost, or a year and a half. About a year and a half. And no, a year. Actually, it is a year. And the message from her is to be safe, be aware, don't drink on an empty stomach, and avoid it if you can. Nikki had experienced some bad experiences with alcohol in the past that, to me, I watched her pass out, and I mean pass out with psychosis in the end. Since stopping alcohol, there is no more of that psychosis. They're completely in control of their family, loving life. It's blossoming, it's flourishing. Communication of talking has brought the whole family back together again. So that's Nikki's message. Be safe and be aware and be very careful and avoid alcohol. Sally, let someone know where you're going. And yeah, that's very point, because at the end of the day, people go missing again. That's been heard of this time of the year. People go missing because they're so intoxicated. They don't even remember where they wake up sometimes. So it's very important that you know where you're going and let somebody know where you're going. That would probably be of benefit to keep yourself safe. If you don't, you know what, even a very tip, this is a really good tip. Even if you don't have anyone to let them know where you're going, leave a note somewhere in your house on a calendar that was your plan for the day. At least we would know how to find you. Okay. Dan says, drink in moderation. Drink a glass of water before you go to bed, and make sure you've got taxi money. And don't take too much out. Take the minimum of credit cards, etc. Don't even take the credit card, debit card. Take the very minimum out as possible for yourself, and make sure you got a backup. Always. My mum always said, try and save for that rainy day, because whether you're in or out of a relationship, you never know that you're only a paycheck away from housing, homelessness, etc. So try and save something for your rainy days. Don't piss it all up on alcohol. And I think for myself is to use condoms. If you are, I've got to put it out there. Why not? I don't care how old you are. Use a condom. And we're going to say use a condom because one of the things from sex is the only way to keep safe. But to use a condom, the difference about using condoms and those that are maybe naive or may not have even ever used a condom or haven't dated for a long time, want to get back into the driving seat. Safe sex, alcohol, safe sex. Is there any such thing as safe sex when you're alpha? You're clued up. Women may want a baby. They don't care about you, but they may want a baby. So they might prick your condoms. Be very aware. Women can be very manipulated, you know, and I have to say that. So can men. Men may want a baby and they may prick the condom too. So ladies and gentlemen, be in charge of what you are doing, and be fair on each other's lives, because some people don't want children. Be very fair on their life. Can you actually expect them to pay child support if they told you point blank they don't want a child and they use protection? So be very careful on that note with your condoms. Be safe, be respectful, but be respectful to you. I'm going to let you click off now, but I'm going to play out with Mandy Fisher's song. For all the people that I've encountered this year, good or bad, I wish you healing. I hope you learn to forgive, because anybody that's out there trying to hurt, humiliate, and publicly humiliate people and put them all over Facebook or things like that, I only see that as learned behaviour, and one that will cease when people lose everything. So your behaviour and what you do to others is a reflection on yourself. So from me to you, this here is playing out with Mandy Fisher, and I want to say thank you to everyone. Real of the Days, Terry, Adrian, Dan, Sally, Leisha, Sadia, Anthony. Oh boy, people have come and gone, even down to the old people that were here and they've left. You know, thanks to everybody that's given back. If you want to get involved with what we're doing, seeking volunteers for 2020. If you would like to come and support one of these lovely things and get involved and speak to other people and help and find your little niche and what you're good at, let me know. I think for me, I've had a wonderful 2019. I look forward to our up and coming workshops, and that's the thing. I was wishing and hoping that we had a premises. We now have a premises, so you will be able to have a drop-in on set days to help, to get involved and to talk. So look out for all of those things. I'm looking forward to working with helping children to develop, to protect their minds, and look out 2020, yeah.
Indeed.
2020, look out for it. Thanks to everyone that supported me, even online and offline. Thanks for everyone that's giving back. Keep going. One of the things I have to speak about, I'm going to go, but one of the things, if you're mum out there, and your mum out there, if you're a parent for anyone, and you're longing for children, longing for loved ones, miss your loved ones, if you are sitting there in a state of depression, those that are departed will tell you, don't waste your life away. Live. If you don't like your circumstances, only you can change it. If you're feeling crap, speaking out saves lives, and support saves more. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful New Year. But it's not just New Year, it's New Year every day. So keep trying, whatever you do. Listen to this. Oops, I get in trouble. Oh, great. Because it's the wrong one. So this can play out of this. Wow. When the night has come and the light is on and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. If the sky will look upon, stand by me. Should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Yeah. Stand by me, oh, stand by me, oh, stand now, stand by me. Happy New Year. Oh, look. want to get her album, you can get her album. You can find her Mandy Fisher site on Facebook. You'll be able to find her there, and she has many YouTubes. Hi, Anthony. Right, so I've just seen the messages come up. So, and Glenn and join. Hi, Naomi. Hi, Anthony. Lisa. Hi, Carl, Sally, Hannah. Happy New Year to everyone. Super, Kazi, Clark, David, Paul. Happy New Year. Right, Vanda, Naomi, Sally. Do you know what, guys? The effort that you've came on here and get involved. That's all I can say. Get involved and make a difference to someone's life. Make a difference to yours. Happy New Year. All the best. Take care from the Mom Project. Remember, everything's possible. Why? Because it's mind over matter.